Well, hello and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and I am so happy that you're here. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to. We come at you twice a week, minimum, with different furniture makeovers, crafts, projects, whatever we're up to here in the shop. Now, today's a little bit different. So, well, not really, it's kind of a craft, but I want to give you the backstory. So I had been working on some Easter projects and I had picked up some big plastic eggs. And whether you've seen it or not, I don't know if it's listed yet or not, but I have a really cool one with these. But I had a couple left over. So I was kind of thinking, what the heck am I going to do with that? So rather than doing decorating on the outside, I decided, and I kind of wondered, I wonder if I could carve into this. And because I have a wood burning tool, and this is plastic, I thought, okay, this will be cool. I'll take a pencil, I'll draw a pattern on this, and then I'll use the wood burning tool to melt away the plastic. This is where it's good in theory, not in practice. Because it's awful. So what happens? So apart from, I have to wear a mask because it's really stinky. You're melting this plastic. It's not good. So you're wearing a mask, which is uncomfortable. And it melts the plastic, so it creates all kinds of raised edges and sharp edges, and they're all sticking out, and it's kind of brutal. So then I thought, well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I have a Dremel. I'll bring the Dremel into the shop and I'll sand away all of the rough spots. So it kind of does that, but it still looks really rough, really jagged, and it's just not good. It's not a good idea. So we're now on round 2, where I am thinking, what if I just use the Dremel? What if I just drill my design into the surface without having to melt it and create a pattern that way? So y'all are caught up, and this is that attempt. So we'll see how that goes and whether it's easy or not. And I have a foot-operated Dremel here, so I'm just going to start with just a little hole. I'm just going to try and drill a hole. Okay, so apart from all the plastic ending up on my tip, which doesn't bode well for the next hole, I do get a nice clean hole. I do think I'm going to need to have a knife to get all the plastic off of the Dremel tip, however, because I couldn't likely use that to make another nice hole. So that would be a pain. All right, so let's just see if it does it anyway. So I'm just trying to go maybe about halfway around and do the same thing. Well, that made a nice clean hole too. But again, I'm getting a lot of plastic buildup on the tip. Okay, so I know I can make holes. I'm not sure I can do anything other than holes. All right, so let me try 2 more holes on the other sides, and then we will try a different tip and see if we can do something else. It's very hard to get started to begin with because it's slippery. So using that same tip, which is just this kind of conical little sanding tool. I sort of drew on, I wanted to see if I could do kind of like a teardrop shape, and I did manage to do it. So what I did do was I punctured down in the base, and then I just kind of used it to kind of sand up and around. I'm going to bring you in closer so that you can kind of see how it goes. This is not a fast process. So this might fall into the that was cool, I'm never doing it again category. I don't know, really depends upon how it turns out. You know what, I'm not maybe skilled at this, and maybe that's part of the reason why it's a little awkward, but there is a bit of a learning curve in terms of how to manipulate it and how to move it, but it is working, and that's half the battle, is that seeing that it's possible. So far, it's possible, but again, you end up with all kinds of little pieces of plastic hanging out inside your egg. But yeah, let me bring you in closer, and you can be with me on the next one, and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll see about some other designs. I was thinking scroll work would be cool, but I think it might be above me. We'll see. To start, we are going to use DIY Golden Ticket and give this an all over kind of base coat, because this is still kind of a slick surface. So we're just going to give it a base coat of gold. We'll probably do 2 coats of this, and then switch over to some Rub and Buff. So I'm just looking to give a little bit of a tooth, as they say, to the egg, to give the Rub and Buff something to stick onto. The DIY Golden Ticket is a finishing product, so it seals itself as well, as does the Rub and Buff. So Rub and Buff is just a kind of a paste, usually best done with your fingers, really. I use it a lot on the hardware of pieces that I'm refinishing. But it's gonna just kind of rub on, give an overall gold look to the piece. So I've got this big gold egg. Now, so I will say for this, as I went, I got better, as with most things. So as much as this first egg isn't perfect, by any means, I think that if I did more, they would certainly start looking much better. And if I switched out the tip for a finer tip, I did find that the higher the speed that I had the Dremel operating at, the easier it was to cut. And I think if I had a much smaller tip, I could have gotten and done some fancier scroll work and things. So it may be something that I give another go at. I buy a couple more of these big eggs and play with them a little bit to be able to see if I can, whoa, it's plastic. See if I can get a little bit better. But kind of fun. I mean, once I got going with it and I realized that it was maybe going to work after all, it made it sort of interesting. So I'm going to get this covered in my Rub and Buff, and I'll probably give it a spray. I'm going to see if I have a glossy spray. Give it a bit of a sheen to perk it up. But kind of cute, you know. If you had a number of these in you know, like a basket or one of your Easter vignettes as a change from having a solid egg. Kind of pretty. Tell me what you think. Just kind of a bonus. Gee, I was playing. Thought I'd bring you along with me. So using the Dremel tool just straight to be able to carve, way better than using the melted version, the wood burner. Fail. This one worked. This one looks kind of cute. So let me know if you give it a go, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care.